Hello, I am in Spain and I'm here to introduce you to a brand new car. It's called the Volvo S90 and it has been designed to take on the best of the Germans, the Japanese and the English. So, is it good enough? Let's get into it. But we'll start with a beautiful driving shot of an older gentleman in the countryside. For the new S90, Volvo has upgraded the Pilot Assist software, so now it works up to 130 kilometers an hour. I'm on Malaga's A7 highway. I've got the speedo dialed up to 120. I've got a little green steering wheel in front of me here, and that means the system is operational. Now, I can take my hands off the wheel and the car will steer itself. This is quite spooky at 120 k's an hour, but for legal reasons, for liability reasons, it needs to have your hands on the wheel every few seconds. So it's going to tell me here, apply some steering, there we go, and the system will keep going. So it just provides little corrective nudges here and there, keeps you bang in the center of the lane. And of course, it's also got radar cruise control so that if it picks up a car in front of you, it will slow down automatically. As soon as you change lanes and it picks up the lane is clear, it will accelerate again. It's a very impressive system and it works very well. So what is this big S90 like to drive? Well, Volvos tend to err on the side of comfort rather than sportiness, but it does feel quite willing. It feels like it's been set up to take corners at a decent speed, and there will be an R-Design version coming out next year which will look the part as well. But it feels like a very fast limo, but it's shrunk around you in a way that you might expect from a car in a lower segment. I really quite like it actually. Slightly softer than the XC90, even though it uses the same suspension, that slightly controversial transverse leaf spring at the back. It all seems to work a bit better in this car than it does in the XC90.
After a brief lunch somewhere in Spain, it was time to change cars.
Some Hungarian guys taking forever to leave.
Right, I've hopped into the diesel now, the D5, and the big change here to the engine is that it now features a patented new technology from Volvo called PowerPulse. Now it's going to get a bit car nerdy for the next minute, but bear with me because this is pretty cool. So in the engine bay, running off electricity, is a little compressor, a little piston bouncing up and down, compressing air into a 2-liter tank about the size of a bottle of milk. And then if I sort of stab at the throttle, or if the car senses that I need to quickly accelerate under 100 k's an hour, it will shoot a pulse of air into the turbocharger, spinning it up at low revs and getting rid of the turbo lag. Now it's good in theory, and in practice it's actually pretty good. It sort of smooths out the acceleration. Normally turbo diesels have a nothing whoosh, but this one doesn't. This is smooth. I think a lot of manufacturers might like to copy this tech, and I suspect they will. I'd now like to tell you about some of the safety features of this new Volvo, but before we get there, let's have a lovely aerial shot. And we're back. So, new technology on the Volvo. It's got better animal recognition systems. Volvo is actually working around the world to make the system better suited to the specific lifestyle of your country. So in Australia, they're trying to get the car to pick up kangaroos, and in the Northern Hemisphere, they're trying to get it to pick up elks a bit better. Hopefully they can come down to South Africa and they can help us pick up kudus and that sort of thing. It's got new tech which detects the edge of the road, and it's not looking for a line or anything like that. It's not line dependent. It's actually picking up the edge of the tarmac and the beginning of the gravel or trees or hedge that you might be crashing into. And if you sort of slowly drift over to the side, it'll actually correct the car and pull it over. And if you really sort of steer off the road, It'll actually jam on the brakes to reduce the severity of an impact. I'm not going to test it, so you're just going to have to trust me on that one. Let's talk about the interior, but before we get there, how about a nice sunset shot of the Volvo showing off its Thor's Hammers headlights?
If you've ever driven an XC90 or peered through the window, the interior of the S90 will be familiar. However, it is a bit more luxurious. The dashboard cocoons the driver with the same clever vertical touchscreen as the centerpiece. Rear space is impressive with vast legroom and seats that are almost as comfortable as the ones in front. The Swedish Sedan will arrive in South Africa in October this year, with an expected price range of between 600,000 and 900,000 rand.
The S90 will be partnered by the V90, which is a magnificent looking thing. But because South Africans just don't buy station wagons, Volvo won't be bringing it to the country, at least not initially. But we have been told that if there is enough interest, they will reconsider. So I'm asking you, please, fellow countrymen, go into Volvo dealerships and ask for the V90, and maybe they will bring it to South Africa. I promise you'll like it. You'll like it a lot. It's a very nice looking thing. Promise.